Throwdown. And here's your host, Christina K.
That's right, it is Sunday, April 29th, the Total Access Throwdown. It's Christina K, and my special celebrity co-host today is Blake Lewis. How are you?
Doing good. How are you?
I am good now that you're here. I love when you beatbox for me.
Christina, let's do this.
Somebody's in a good mood for a Sunday morning.
I am in a great mood.
Any particular reason?
I just shot a music video, so I put a lot of creative things, happened this weekend. So it was good.
Very nice. So I remember the last time you were on the air with me, we talked a lot about Angry Birds and how you were addicted to it.
I have moved on.
To? Any particular game?
I moved on to Temple Run. Well, and classic Miss Pac-Man, which is like my favorite game of all time. So that is always, if I'm waiting in a line, if I'm at the airport, some Miss Pac-Man will be played. But definitely Temple Run. And I'm so mad because my roommate just beat me my high score, and I'm so mad about it.
I hate that. You're so proud of your accomplishment, and then somebody beats it. But now I gotta ask, what is Temple Run?
It's so easy. It's like literally this guy's running. It's basically, that part in Indiana Jones, Temple of Doom, when he's running away from the boulder.
The classic
exactly
scene.
Right. You move your phone around, and you can hop over things and collect stones, rupees, whatever.
But what about Draw Something, Blake? Everyone was talking about it. Are you playing that?
I am, but I got tired of it because they only have a couple words, and then I literally now I'm before anyone draws anything, I see the letters and I already know what it is.
Yeah, how many times can you draw Pitbull and J-Lo, right?
J-Lo's the easy one.
The big butt. Stick figure with the big butt.
No, I draw, a booth that says American Idol and three people in it and point to the middle one,
Perfect.
I like drawing stick figures. I like to draw the worst drawing possible.
You're not the only one who does that.
As soon as you log on to draw something, if you go on Facebook and put it, then you have 400 friends that are playing the damn thing and they all want to play with you.
True.
And I'm I just want to play this a couple times.
Had to ask. But anyway, Blake, welcome to the Throwdown. I know you've been on the air quite a few times with us, but this is your first time co-hosting the Throwdown with me, and this is a great show. We count down the top 15 songs of the week and dish out all the week's gossip. So I'm going to give you some big headlines of the week, and then let me know your reaction, or if you know something that I don't know about them, feel free to share.
If this was graded on point system, I would probably fail, just warning you, because I have no idea what's going on right now.
Don't say that. You might actually be surprised at how much you know.
Shoot it. Let's throw down.
All right. So we were talking about J-Lo on Draw Something, and last year she was People's Most Beautiful Women in the World. And do you know who the new Most Beautiful Woman is this year?
This is the first time I could answer this correctly, because I just saw someone tweet about it. Beyonce.
See, you knew something. I told you. I'm very proud.
Booyah.
So do you agree with that? Do you think Beyonce is the most beautiful woman of the year?
All women are beautiful, so, I don't know if she deserves it, so.
What a nice answer. That's sweet.
I think she's dope. I'm not, the biggest fan of her,
Okay.
And J-Lo's got it, twice, right? I'm in love with J-Lo, so,
I think that's every guy's answer, Blake. But what about Kim Kardashian? How do you feel about her?
I'm not a fan at all.
Either am I.
No, someone getting famous for, making a porno, basically, is not my cup of tea, Suck, mass media into their lives and, make a show about everything they do.
It's true, and I gotta give it to them. They have been we have talked about them every Throwdown for probably the past, almost the past year, and we're gonna talk about her again today.
We shouldn't even have this conversation, because then she wouldn't be relevant, you know what I mean?
It's true, it's true.
I don't think she deserves to be, so.
Alright, so you know what? Let's skip her then. We'll skip her. Okay, so we'll skip Kim Kardashian for you, but what about Megan Fox? How do you feel about her?
She's hot. I'm a fan of the brunettes with nice eyes and lips, and she's hot in her own way.
But she's got a little bit of an attitude.
Yeah, the attitude can work, but that's 20%. You know what I mean? You can't be so into yourself that I don't know.
It's true. Well, we're not going to hear about her for a while because she's taken some time off from acting and everything, which I think she pretty much has been doing because she's having a baby.
She's actually going to get acting. Oh, she's having a baby. I thought you were going to say she's going to get acting lessons. I want to say hooray.
Well, you know what? After the baby, she should look into that. Blake, let's get into things. We have so many great songs today on the lineup. Lots more to talk about. And right now, starting it off at number 15, do you know this one from Gym Class Heroes and Ryan Tedder, Fighter?
I just was hanging out with Ryan, but I haven't heard the song.
Well, you gotta tell him that. You're gonna hear it right now. Total Access Throwdown is number 15.
That was David Guetta with Sia, and the song is called Titanium.
Look at that. You're a pro at this. You know that?
I try.
So, I remember probably the first time I interviewed with you, you told me that you did animated voices. And I gotta tell you, you know I'm a huge Disney fan. So,
as am I.
Yes, which I love about
I like
you.
the classic Disney. Yeah,
yes,
sure.
the classic Disney. What about the Pixar? How do you feel about Pixar?
Oh, I think Pixar is like the greatest
Right?
ever. I love all those, animated shorts, and they're just fun. Kids movies are my favorite.
They're the best, and they're more for adults nowadays than the actual kids.
Some of them are for sure. Like Rango was like super adult.
It was.
And,
it was. But now I gotta tell you about the new movies coming out from Disney. And the first one's not animated, but it's a classic. The Muppets 2.
Wow, okay.
Did you see the first one, Blake?
I did, of course, yeah. I own Animal and Gonzo. I have like replicas. I'm a huge Muppet fan. Like
Nice.
Jim Henson, I think it's one of the last, very creative, conceptual artists.
Great.
Do you see Dean Elmo, the documentary?
No, I have not.
You must see it. It's
I will
very,
do
very
that.
good.
Absolutely. But I gotta tell you about these new Disney movies that are coming out. 2 new Pixar movies. One is called The Good Dinosaur, and it's like a movie about what if dinosaurs were never extinct. So that's kind of interesting. Like living
That
amongst
is
humans.
interesting.
Yeah.
And then Brave coming out.
Cannot wait for Brave. I think that's going to be a fantastic movie. And they're making more of like a Spanish one. It's about Day of the Dead. So apparently, rumor has it Johnny Depp may have something to do with that. So I don't know.
I did see something about that.
See, and you said you weren't going to know any topics I'm talking about.
I am ED this conversation.
Yes, get on that, absolutely. I'm just waiting for the day I hear about a Disney movie coming out and I see Blake Lewis on the headlines. I'm waiting for that, Blake.
I would love it. We did, when we were on Idol, we went to DreamWorks and, like Shrek and all that, and I got to do the voice with Antonio Banderas, and it was pretty cool. And I should have sent him my animation reel.
You should
Now
have.
that I have one, go back in there and be like, yo, I'm in your movie. Let's do that.
Absolutely. I'm going to start harassing them for you. Are you kidding me? Judges and Pitbull with Dance Again on the Total Access Throwdown. Christina K joined by my very special guest, Blake Lewis. How you doing?
Doing all right. I am fantastic. Whoa. Yep.
I always love the energy that you have.
I was a crazy kid. I'll just say that much. I was crazy.
You know what? I believe you, Blake. I do. So every week we have to talk about American Idol, and you were actually at the show this week, right?
Yes.
Are you liking this season? What are your thoughts?
I thought this season, I thought the contestants are great. Fantastic vocal control.
Yeah.
Some of them, I'm not a big fan of the younger singers, because I don't relate to them, So they could be an amazing song, but the performance wasn't that good, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, the judges have been saying that all season, that they have more of a hard time connecting to the songs, because a lot of them are older songs.
Really, yeah, I had a lot of trouble, like, don't connect with Holly at all. She's just like a little girl and she's singing, and it's great. She's got a great voice. I connect with Elise.
Well, she's the oldest one, I believe, this season.
Yeah, and I'm rooting for her, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, she's on the show competing against all these, 16 to, I don't even, like, she's like been the only oldest one. Like,
True.
How old is Joshua Ledet?
He's 20,
like
I think.
19?
Yeah.
20?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and her song selection has been great. She knows herself.
True.
And I like seeing that. I don't need to see the journey. I've watched American Idol. I was on it. I don't need to see these little kids. For me, it's different. I have a different stance on it because I know what Nigel and Ken are doing, and how they manipulate the younger kids on the show. To make them do what they want them to do,
That's why I think they have so many young kids this year, because they can manipulate them a lot more than someone like Elise.
Right, which is great, and it sucks at the same time because coming from, you know, being a producer, coming from that standpoint, you want to have a good show, and, you know, Nigel knows how to do that. But at the same time, it's really gross and manipulative, you know. You know, so that's why. I mean, we had butted it, you know, when I was on the show.
I remember you talking to us about that.
I already knew who I was, you know, and I did my own thing, and it worked out. So that was good. So we had a mutual respect that way, you know. But I mean, when you're young and on that show, it's a tough place to be. And here you are on, like, you know, the biggest show of all time. You know, there's nothing bigger than American Idol except for, you know, once a year the Super Bowl comes on.
It's true. It's more people vote for Idol than the president, so that must be saying something. We've had Chris Allen and Kevin Kobeis and a few others on the show, and they said that Jessica Sanchez all the way. She's another young one. What do you think about her?
Well, I think she's fantastic. But, you know, I mean, it's really a young girl demographic voting, and, you know, and last year it was 2 country artists last year, you know. The people that I always want to win never get win. They get like 3rd, 4th, and, you know what I mean? Like, and I don't vote. Until, like, unless one of the persons I like is in the finale or something. Unless I really, like, I was having Idol parties last year at my house.
If you were still doing that.
A bunch of idols, like, you know, Elliot Yummy, Kim Caldwell, Jordan Sparks, everyone come over to my house and party, you know, and watch the show. And those I voted last year, but it would have to be like an amazing performance that got me, like, you know, jaw drops on the floor, you know what I mean? And there has been a couple moments this year. Jessica definitely had a couple moments. Elise, and then people were hit and miss for me. Like, I liked Colton one night, and I wouldn't like him at all the next night. And then I kind of like Philip Phillips, but he sings so flat, and, you know, it's so ridiculous.
I have a problem,
you know.
with him.
And I mean, I liked Dave Matthews like 15 years ago. I don't, you know, he's just like almost exactly the same. So, you know, this season is tough for me because the vocal performances are fantastic, but I'm just not feeling anything. Like,
I agree.
You know.
I completely agree.
But going to seeing it live, it's totally different when you see it live. You know what I mean? If you're on the stage, it sounds amazing in there. It doesn't sound like television, you know what I mean? Television, they've done a pretty good job this year, actually, with mixing it for TV, as opposed to last year. It's totally different, like, going there. It's just a different show to me, too. I mean, it was Paul Simon and Randy for me, so, you know, that's cool that J-Lo is there and Steven Tyler, but I'm not as invested personally.
Right. Idol just got renewed for a 12th and 13th season, and Ryan Seacrest is still going to be there, but they're a little iffy on the whole judge situation. Is there any artist that you think would make a phenomenal judge on Idol?
Oh, man, I mean, there's amazing musicians that I love and respect that would actually say stuff. Like, Steven Tyler really doesn't say a thing, and it's just kind of like when Ellen was on the show, you know. No, there's no Simon there, you know, so, I mean, I would like to see, I think Sting would be a good judge, you know, just because he's cocky, and, you know, he's got, like, he really tells the truth, like, every time I've seen an interview with him, you know. That could be interesting. You know, I mean, it's so different. It's just different without Simon being there, honestly, you know. And I was so sad that he was making his own show, and then he brought Paula on that show. I thought, it was the dumbest thing ever.
They were the biggest entertainment. I mean, you would always be on the edge of your seat to see what Simon was going to say and what analogy he was going to bring up, and then what Paula was going to do to make a fool out of herself almost. And now you don't have that.
Right, yeah. And the relationship between, like, Ryan and Randy, it doesn't work like it did with Simon and Ryan. You know what I mean? Like, Ryan's trying to, like, Ryan does his thing, and then he'll make fun of, like, Randy or something, and then, you know, it just, Randy doesn't have, like, the best come back to be like, what? You know? So, I miss that relationship, you know.
You're not the only one. I totally agree. Well, that was a lot of Idol. Let's get back into the music. What do you say?
All right, let's do it.
All right, this is one of my new favorite songs from Ellie Goulding. It's called Lights.
I had a way